hello. We have quiet morning voice on again today. One of these days I'll figure out my whole system. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. But for today, we just did our energy exchange and we found out that the energy we would benefit from releasing today was that of injustice. And the new energy we could call in its place was relaxation. Again, as we spoke about yesterday, sometimes these things come up and they make total sense and you're like, yep, this tracks totally. Sometimes it doesn't make a lot of sense until we're at the end of the clearing. And today I feel like we're somewhere in between. It's like, yeah, when you're feeling like things are unjust, the last thing that you are then embodying is relaxation. You're feeling like your nervous system is upset. You're feeling angry. You're feeling amplified with this feeling of injustice. There's not a lot of feelings that are as triggering and stimulating as something like injustice, especially if you feel like an injustice has been done against you. I would think it'd be real difficult to find relaxation. But until we find relaxation, our nervous system is just going to be so on edge and so tense and so tight. It's going to be really difficult to think about anything else, to be creative, to be really inspired or motivated by much else other than this sense of injustice. So it doesn't mean that the injustice isn't real and isn't valid. I'm not telling you that you should let go of evaluating whether something is just or not. But I think the message here is, can you also, in the midst of injustice, access the energy of relaxation, relax yourself, relax your body, relax your mind, so that it doesn't have to become all that you are. It doesn't have to rule and operate your life. So this is what we're doing today. I like to consider it as like energy alchemy. This is why I say we do this mindfulness exercise together and then hopefully release you to have a little bit better rest of your day, shifting yourself a little bit out of that more negative energy and into something that would be more positive for you in some way. So let's look at the root of this injustice, anything that we might be able to do to help release it, to help pull it up, to help destroy it, to help process it and understand it, because that's a lot of why we're here too. We're here to try to help ourselves understand what's going on, because in understanding, we can come to acceptance. You could ask what comes first, the chicken or the egg, acceptance and then understanding, or understanding and then acceptance. I could argue either way. We're not going to fight about it today though. So we are looking at chart 22. Do y'all know now by now what chart 22 is? Chart 22 is our looping. This is when we are just stuck in the loop of, again, this energy of injustice. And we're not trying to take away, one more time, from the fact that that injustice may be real. But also what I'm hearing is, it's no longer necessary, it's no longer beneficial for you to be in the energy of injustice. You can accept that an injustice has happened, but do you have to be in the energy of that thing? And so that's what this is saying to me right now, is like, you're just looping in it. You have not been able to let it go. Something has happened to you, or you're observing something happen out in the world, and it's extremely upsetting. And again, we're not taking away from how good or how bad it is, but it is us just looping. We're not moving forward. We're not able to act. We're just looping around in this energy. So we're going to ask for all of us to be released from this looping now. And you can say to yourself right now, either out loud or quietly to yourself, I release myself from the energy of looping. I am willing to let this go. And that's a hard thing for a lot of us to say. But let's practice. What does it feel like in your body when you say, I am willing to let this go? Are you feeling like you're betraying yourself by letting it go? Are you feeling like you are offering forgiveness to somebody that you don't want to forgive? You know, think about why you might have some aversion to saying, I'm willing to let this go. All right. What else can we see here as it relates to this injustice? So we're going to our chart 3. Okay, so what's going on here? So there's a program that's blocking us. It's mental programming. And part of this, I really do think, is For some of us, it's not even about what's going on in our day-to-day lives ourselves. It's, again, this energy that we're trapped inside of, this program that we're trapped inside of. So we're releasing all of us now from any program that does not serve our highest good. Again, you can say that with me. I release myself from any program that isn't serving my highest good. And I bring my awareness now to the beneficial programs, the programs that will serve me in the here and now. Okay, what else do we got to do? What else do we got to do to help release us from this feeling of injustice? Is this chart 1 or chart 2? Chart 2, okay. So let's go to chart 2. This is our themes, challenges, and soul qualities. Our security and our resources. So what percent was this injustice that we're seeing have to relate with our security and our resources? So perhaps there was a financial betrayal here for some of you. Perhaps this is something where you're feeling like it's unjust how you don't have access to the resources that you believe you should have the access to. Perhaps this is just an overall general feeling of injustice for society at large because of the very massive wealth gap that exists all over the world, but certainly in our society here in America. Oh, and I'm just spinning the pendulum because I'm just thinking to myself, how do we again step out of the looping and start taking action? So often it feels like we all just want to sit around and talk about the injustice and not actually do anything about it. And we want to talk about how unfair it is, but we don't actually maybe know what to do about it. So I'm just asking for all of us to be downloaded with the wisdom, the knowledge, the truth, the information to know what to do about this injustice, to know what to do about this imbalance of security and resources. So maybe you just open yourself up right now to some little sparks of ideas of like, okay, yeah, I'm willing to step outside of just thinking about this and looping in this energy. And now I am willing to take action in my own life to shift this, to shift into a place where I can relax because I have the resources and the security that I need. And isn't that interesting with our replacement energy being relaxation? How many of us can relax when we don't feel like we have security and resources? Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to relax when you don't feel like you have money to pay the bills. And that feels really unjust. Rosie's crying about it because she agrees that that feels really unjust. All right, so again, we're opening ourselves up to bringing our awareness onto the ideas that would help build our actions to get us out of this looping, this injustice, this lack of balance. Again, opening us up to receiving the good that can come from drawing in and magnetizing those resources and that security, because for some of us, we're blocked to that. Because again, we're not open to receiving greater good. And this comes up a lot in these clearings. So many of us are just not open to receiving greater good. Not that we want to stay stuck in the energy of lack and the energy of injustice, but we're so programmed into thinking that this is just the way it's got to be. I'm just stuck here at this level. It's us against them. It's those guys have it all. And so I'm staying stuck down here in the level of pessimism and darkness and lack. And this is why I talk so much about the importance of optimism, the importance of believing that it can be different and that it can change. I really think that that is the only reason why I have the life that I have, which is a very blessed life. And that's because I just believe that it's possible. I believe that I can get myself out of anything. I believe that I can accomplish just about anything that I put my mind to within reason. I know my limits. I know my weaknesses. Definitely never going to be a mathematician. Definitely never going to be a scientist. But yeah, you have to be able to step outside of the negativity and the doom scrolling and the doom looping to believe that it can be better. And again, this is where I'm like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Does the relaxation comes first? And then once you can relax, you can open yourself up to optimism and the possibilities, and you can get out of this energy of injustice? Or do the resources come first, and then finally you feel like you can relax? And it's probably a little bit of both, but I would say the truest, hardest challenge, the truest, hardest exercise is going to be, can I drop into optimism and relaxation now, so that I can draw in this abundance and this feeling of justice and this feeling of balance? Even though it's hard, even though it's so hard. Again, I am in no way saying that this would be an easy task, but it would be a very powerful task, because I think it would be the thing that would help us really reprogram our mind to say, yes, it is possible to challenge myself to relax into optimism even when things are not going my way, to still maintain my optimism, to still maintain my belief in justice, in balance, in my ability to, call in resources even when the cards are stacked against me. Is it fair? Probably not. But it is a great exercise, and I think it would really help reprogram all of our brains in a really good and healthy way. Okay, so do we want to keep looking at the root, the energy of injustice? Yes, we do. So what else do you want to show me about this injustice? We're going to chart 24. Going to chart 24. All right, buried beliefs. We have these buried beliefs. Am I allowed to can I look at anything in particular about these beliefs? Yes. So what in particular about these beliefs? Like, what kind of a belief is it? Interesting. Chart 10A. Okay, sweet. I kind of like that chart. What is this belief about? What is the belief about? Societal beliefs about right and wrong. Societal beliefs about right or wrong, justice and injustice. This is so funny that this is coming up. Okay, so we have these beliefs about what is right and what is wrong. We've decided that things are unjust, and we're just hanging out in that energy, versus coming to a place of acceptance, coming to a place of relaxing into the right here and the right now, as right or wrong as it may be, and trusting that this is all a part of your soul's journey and the process of developing your spirit, developing who you are through many lifetimes, through many incarnations, that this time right here on this planet, whether you are in abundance or in lack, there is justice in all things, and it all will balance out. I tried to say this, I think I made an Instagram post about this the other day. I was listening to this beautiful book on astrology, was not expecting for her to talk about pendulums, but she was saying that the law of the pendulum rules the universe. If it swings this way over here, it is going to swing back over this way to that same balance level. If you are feeling like you are in the energy of injustice, it will come back around. Is it going to come back around in this lifetime? I'm not sure. Not necessarily. You can die feeling as if your whole life was unfair and unjust, but I do believe that the universe will balance the scales. I do believe in the soul's journey through karma, through getting to experience all the good things, and then through getting to experience all the bad things. It is the nature, the law of the universe. The good and the bad, the balance, that even if you're not experiencing that balance right now, release yourself into the belief that there will be balance for you later, and maybe your next lifetime is going to be the best lifetime ever. You're really struggling right now. And what can you do to, again, relax into this present moment and let go of that feeling of this is unfair, this is unjust, because that's all you will see, is that things are unfair and unjust. Can you open your mind to the fact that, yeah, I had this betrayal, I don't have all the resources I need, but I get to look out my window and I get to see the trees and the birds and the clouds. I get to breathe fresh air. I get to experience what it's like to have a body. And can I shift my awareness and shift my focus away from the injustice and onto the beauty and the joy and the magic and the love of this world? This goes back to yesterday's clearing. Your purpose in this world right now is for you to balance the scales, for you to say, I see that evil, I see that injustice, and I will embody justice, love, truth, magic, all of those things. You are the weight on the other side of the scale. You bring justice to this world by being the kind person that you are, by being the good person that you are, and by stepping out of the looping of negativity and doom and saying, I have faith and spirit that everything is going to be okay, either in this lifetime or another lifetime, that my conscious awareness will get to experience all things. My conscious awareness is a part of infinity, and I will experience all things good and bad. And there truly is justice in this universe. There is balance in this universe. It's hard. It's hard to believe when everything is going sideways. I get it, y'all. It is so hard. Ooh, my roomie's awake, so my dog wants to go say hi. Let's see how we go with this. Okay, so chart 15. What else do you want to show us here? What else do you want to show us here? Separation from love. Separation from love. That's the feeling of injustice. That's the feeling of imbalance. That is an energy that we want to step outside of. We want to say, I am connected to love. I am a source of love. I have access to love. Love is easy for me. Can you say those things? Rewind if you got it. I don't remember what they all were. I remove all the blocks between me and love. I remove all the blocks between myself and the loving energy of the universe. Which ways have you been pushing love away? The love of your animals, the love of nature, the love of the universe to you, and your love giving to others. How have you pushed that away? These are the things that we want to meditate on. These are the things we want to consider. And we want to bring our awareness onto the things of love, allowing our awareness to drift away from injustice, to drift away from this feeling of imbalance, to drift away from this obsession with things being unfair. We allow our awareness to drift away from this belief that everything is unfair, and we call our awareness now onto love. Okay. Do we want to keep looking at injustice? Yes or no? That's a no. Okay, so we got a no. So now we're going to look at that relaxation. So what percent are we open to relaxation? We're 100% open to relaxation. That's fantastic. What percent are we blocked to relaxation? Also 100%. So let's just bust away those blocks, and then I'm going to go to work. So what can we do to bust apart those blocks to our relaxation? It is so interesting that my pendulum is spinning in the other direction and she doesn't want to give me an answer. I find that so fascinating. Okay, is this chart 4 or chart? Yeah, chart 4. Okay, so this is interesting because chart 4 sometimes represents our past life story. So is there a past life that you want me to look at here? No. Is there something else you want me to look at here on this chart? Yes. Okay, what else on this chart do you want me to look at? Well, it is saying that there are past lives we need to release. So we're just going to say release ourselves from all past lives now that told us that life was unjust, that told us that life was unfair, and that are blocking us to our relaxation. Because that's right, because that's what this is about, right? We right now are looking at the block to relaxation. We got some past life energies we got to let go of. Past life energies that are preventing us from feeling truly relaxed. I allow myself to access the energy of this lifetime and release myself from my obsession with my past lives. And this can be past lives just like the life you had when you were in college, the life you had when you were a kid, or a past life, actually your awareness, when your awareness was inside of a different avatar in a different timeline. Yeah, I know, it's weird, but I do believe that stuff. Okay, what else can we do to unblock us for relaxation? We're going to chart 28, chart 28. Okay, what else can we do to unblock us once and for all to our relaxation, our emotional impingements? I always like when this chart comes up because I imagine like impingements, like you go get a massage and they like work out the impingements in your muscles. I imagine that same thing on like an emotional level. You feel that, right? Like you got some emotional impingements going on. You got a little bit of anxiety over here. You got a little bit of worry over here. You got a little bit of anger over here. You have a little bit of distrust over here. And we're just working all of those things out. We're smoothing all of those things out. We're releasing those little impingements so that we can fully relax once and for all. And you can, again, like shake it out. You can just kind of like soften everything, roll things, find out where those emotions are stuck inside of you by doing a body scan. Just doing a body scan right now. Okay, how are my feet? Oh yeah, there's my feet. Hi feet. I haven't touched bases with you yet today. How are my ankles? Is there any emotion stuck down in my ankles? How are my calves? Can I relax my calves? My knees? What's going on with my thighs? Ooh, how am I feeling in my hips? Yeah, for me, I'm carrying a lot of impingement in my hips. Drawing it up into my low back and my pelvic bowl. Noticing your belly, your chest, your shoulders and your arms. Ooh, my elbows are carrying some stuff. Shaking that out. Your neck, your jaw, your face, your eyeballs, your brain. Maybe the top of your head, and you're just releasing all of these impingements now. And you can say that out loud. I release myself from any emotional impingements that are getting in the way of my relaxation. I'm ready to let go of the emotional impingements blocking me to relaxation. Yeah, now I want a nap. All right, now what percent are we open to relaxation? Now what percent, oops, I meant blocked. Now what percent are we blocked to relaxation? 0%. I was like, wait, why am I doing that backwards? Because we were 100% open to begin with. Okay, so it just said that we were totally unblocked. We're going to do 100% of 100% a mop up. And then what is our replacement energy outside of relaxation? Obviously, what is our other replacement energy? Purpose. We love this. This is like yesterday. Purpose and grace. Purpose and grace are our energies for today. We're calling those in for ourselves and for everyone around us. Taking another good exhale, dropping back into this very present moment. Not worried about what happened in the past. Not worried about the injustice that we feel has been done against us or others. Allowing all of the emotional impingements to soften, to liquefy, to flow out of our being. Ready to release all of the past energies that have been holding us back, preventing us from acting, preventing us from drawing in our optimism. All right, everybody. Again, you can find me at www.thepointedstone.com. You can purchase your own clearing or your own pendulum, just like this guy. All right, all. Thanks for being here, and we will see you on another episode of Clearing with Kate.